Georgia is playing no games, fam. I went outside for 2.5 minutes, and that son said, "We are going to melt your phone." And there it is. There, right there. And the plastic case done melted off the side of the phone in 2.5 minutes. But we still ain't here with Jaytoon. Forgot man's DMs is lit, so we gotta hit the share button in order to get him, man. We want to get him in, knock out the thing, then we done, and then that's the end of that. It's going to be out of chronological order though. So if you're seeing this one, go to the video that's posted after this. That's the video that come before this one, and then that's how you're going to be able to see the entire episode. Luckily, the live got an archive, so we in. Because Instagram don't play around when it comes to making sure that all of the lives are saved preemptively. Welcome back. Sorry about that. My phone overheated. It's hot out here in Georgia.
Yeah, I see. Like, damn. The phone's overheating. Niggas can't talk outside.
Yeah, it's not. I be forgetting because I've been had some time in the Bahamas, so for me heat don't do nothing. But my poor technology, it don't look too good. As we have to wrap up in respect to your time, There are two things that we do here. Want to know if you'd be down. The first thing is that we generally open up the live so that people can ask all of the questions they got and show they love and tell you how much they appreciate your existence and all the greatness that you've been putting out into the world. The second thing is that in the buffer time between them asking all of them questions that get asked to you, I open up 10 minutes of honesty, wherein anything that is to be asked of whatsoever, any question that the answer is desired of, can be had. Would you like to do that?
Sure. Asking personal, deep
This is
questions.
always scary. Oh my gosh. All right, the 10 minutes of honesty has begun. What you got?
That's how long. Five. All right, go for it.
Oh, yeah, you get to ask me questions.
I get to ask you questions?
Yeah, you get to ask me whatever question you want.
I thought it was me.
I already done asked you all your questions. I ain't got no crazy truth or dare. Tell me about the Jaytoon Nasties experience. No, this a children's show. We trying not to get. Yeah, what's up?
All right. Who are the biggest artists that influence you?
Number 1, Todd McFarlane. Number 2, Frank Frazetta. Frank Frazetta draws exactly like Greg Capullo, and he was drawn like 40 years before Greg Capullo. So I really like Greg Capullo's style when he's working on Spawn and Batman and stuff. But Frazetta, one, he was doing everything in ink and paint, which is freaking crazy. He's one of the people that did like the original like Dungeons and Dragons and Warcraft art and stuff. But secondarily, Frazetta did Tarzan, the comic book, and he did Huckleberry Finn, and he has this crazy style it's fantasy, but it's anatomically correct, but it's like classical. It's like classical comic book art with like beautiful anatomy and dynamic poses and all the stuff that I love about the 90s. That man was doing that in like the 40s and 50s. Then there's Norman Rockwell, who put like character into his paintings. A lot of painting people are very stoic and they have perfect shading and stuff. But Norman Rockwell has like this texture in his work, and he has this like wonky proportion, and he has weight. I really like animation. Like I grew up watching like Winnie the Pooh cartoons and like old cartoons that even got no name, where everybody's an animal and they playing music and people be going to hell and there's angels and stuff. And so like a lot of the stuff that I really like is based on like super really old cartoons, and then the anime stuff came later. And the anime artists that I like are like people from the 80s, like homie that did Battle Angel Alita, and I really like the style of Battle Angel Alita, Kenichi, and a lot of shoujo manga. They have this really soft like detail. They don't focus on things like, for me, I care about like muscles and hair and cross hatching all over the place. But shoujo artists care about like the lining of somebody's collar and the little frills on the line of the collar, when they don't care about the hair. It'll just be a couple lines of the hair, or the eyes will be like really basic. But when it comes to really specific things like cufflinks or collars or buttons, they'll go all in. And I love how their attention to detail is different and their focus is completely different from mine.
Okay. All right. If you had to choose one, karate or art?
I hate karate, so I definitely choose
Oh no,
art.
what do you do? I don't want to be disrespectful to like
It's all
what
good.
yeah.
I
'Cause
practice Shaolin Kung Fu and Kali, which is a Filipino martial art, and Capoeira, which is a Brazilian martial art. The art that Eddie Gordo does. Listen. Yes, good to see you. I'm on a phone call. I'll be right back up. The art that Eddie Gordo does in Tekken is called Capoeira, and I practice that. And it's one of the few arts where it's based in movement. So you go in a circle, and then you fight, and you dance, and then you hop out. And there's a lot of like ritual
also
connected to it.
maybe I should have said, what do you choose? What would you choose? Martial art?
Like martial arts versus art.
Yeah, yeah. Like if you had to choose one, like you had to give up one of them.
Definitely art. I would get rid of art because it's mad people that do art better than me and their art does more stuff and they love art more than me. I used to really, really like art and like I don't even post no more like that because my goal of art was always to express myself and get better and connect with people. And then I was kind of not disappointed, but I realized I saw that when it came to the next levels of that engagement and that expression, not only was the barrier of bread there, but the barrier of productivity that was there. Whereas you get higher in your art being received by people, there's either a responsibility to encourage growth or you have the responsibility to scale your production. And when you scale your production of art, when you have to make more art, you either have to increase your prices or you have to increase your output. If you increase your output, you'll burn out. But if you increase your prices, then you'll have less people coming. And that balance is really annoying. Whereas in martial arts, when you want to scale up in martial arts, you just learn harder stuff or you train harder or you research more. And then when you want to test that, you can do it completely internally without any external influence, or you can do so many things. You can teach martial arts, you can fight people, you can spar people, you can travel, you can make content, and it's far more insular. I don't like how with art, the bigger you get, the more, not only the more problems that you have, but the more options you have to mess up and the harder it is to recover from them, especially as the landscape constantly is shifting.
Yeah, that's a very good question. Answer like I did. Okay. If like who would be the biggest person that you would want to compete against in martial arts?
Hmm. Uh, Probably um Tony Jaa. I think it would be really cool to like have an exhibition with Tony Jaa of like performance and stuff. Cause it's well prime Tony Jaa. You ever see Ong Bak?
Yeah.
The Muay Thai one? Yeah. So him, that dude, cause he knows all the weapons and he knows all the arts and he can do flips. So I think it would be a really good show for people to have like a black dude doing all this crazy stuff and then him doing all this crazy stuff. I think that would be really cool.
Okay. What was one of the hardest things you had to overcome with martial arts?
Pain mostly. It's all just pain, mental or physical. And it was also hard to learn that you don't like you watch anime and like people train really hard and they scream and they cry and bleed and stuff and then they're stronger. But the physical aspect of martial arts is just a supplement for the mental aspect. So like you do like I can do like 100 push-ups and I can break rocks with my hands and all this crazy stuff. But like I'm going to have this form, like a set of 10 moves. And I can't do that set of 10 moves perfectly unless I try really hard and practice constantly and meditate on it. And even after I do that, it's still going to take another 1,000 repetitions for me to be able to use those moves. And eventually you get to a point of understanding where you can use 3 moves and be so confident and have explored those three moves to such a degree that you can use those three moves in any context that presents itself, from defending yourself against a weapon to running away to like healing yourself, because you understand what that does. And it's the same thing with like a pencil. You can do so much stuff with a pencil. You can flip the pencil on its side. You can take out the razor and have a really long piece of lead. So much stuff. But until you explore that, you won't know how much stuff you can do with it. Then you start getting your finger involved, and you start getting water involved, and the options just exponentially increase.
Okay. I learned so much because I did not know there was a difference between really karate and martial. Karate is a form of martial arts.
Yeah, karate's
Yeah.
from Japan, kung fu's from China.
You know, I did not know that. I learned something today.
Hey.
It's so bad. It's so bad. So do you think that art and martial arts hold hand in hand? Is there a lot that you can use from martial arts to help you with art itself?
Yeah, it helps me keep my patience. It helps me keep going. I don't really like making art anymore
Oh,
because I'm dissatisfied with how it works. Like, it upsets me that like there's so many incredibly talented people in our community. There's probably like two people that got books out, and then there's like manga companies that have been created, and like one of them is like there is no Noir Caesar like that no more. They got jacked up, and then Saturday AM, they exist, but like it's a whole bunch of white people. It's probably like 5 black people in there, and it's owned by black people, so that's cool. But like I feel like there's so much there's so much possibility that exists within our community, and that potential ain't being reached. And I wanted to like be the person to fix that, but I've been learning that it's not my job to. All I can do is really help, and that sucks. But yeah. So if I were weaker, if I hadn't had that Marshall Foundation, and I'd just be like, well, screw everybody. This didn't work. I'm gonna go to college now. But instead, it's like, even if I'm not gonna say like, yo, here's $1,000 to go have a great time in LA. What I
yeah.
can do is be like, yo, the people love you. The people have faith for you. You make these freaking posts, you shout out this stuff, you tell people what the mission is. The people believe in you, and the people believe in the mission. So there's a high probability that people are going to support you in the mission. And that's why we're here now. Because although I can't personally do things, if I can set things up so that things can be done autonomously, then I don't have to be there personally. And then the time that would have been spent being there personally can instead be doing stuff with like the companies we're working with and the relationships that we're trying to build so that more stuff can get done. Because there's a lot that can be done, but people got to know that you can get it done in order to give you those opportunities. So even like us having a panel at the biggest convention in the world, that wouldn't happen if Indra, who owns her company, didn't know me, who owns my company, and reach out to the other people that had companies. And if Anime Expo wasn't down to have us speak, and luckily Anime Expo is down to have us speak.
Oh, that's good. So, are we answering everyone's questions? I think only one person actually asked a question, and
Yes,
I'm not
indeed.
even.
Would you like to read it?
Yeah, I'm not even sure how I can even answer that question because I never did that myself. It says I'm working on a web series on Webtoons. How do I deal with waiting process? I can't even ask that question because I never went to Webtoons. Damn, I felt bad. I'm pretty sure that answer can be answered on Google or one of those chats. But
I think they mistyped and meant to say writing process.
oh, the writing process. How do I deal with the writing process? So the whole thing is I don't. I find a writer to do it for me. I I have great ideas. I feel like I have great ideas, but it's I realize storytelling is like sewing. It has so many loops and connections and all that stuff. I think that was a horrible way of explaining that. Storytelling is not one of my strongest. Like I can come up with an idea, but my thing is to make the characters talk to each other. I really need like a writer. I need someone that knows how to tell a story. It's not just as easy as coming up with a great idea. You can have 1,001 great ideas, but you might need someone that knows how to someone who knows how to make those dreams come true. Like if I it's like me right now, I'm like Steve Jobs. I have great ideas, but I need a whole bunch of people to actually make those ideas work. Like I can draw it out. I can tell you a character's powers, make it completely original, something that you've never seen before. But I would not tell you. I wouldn't be able to tell you how that character might reenact, or I mean, might act with another character because I'm a horrible storyteller. So I definitely always look for writers, someone who's good at storytelling. Um, I don't know. I think that was the only question.
Well, in that case, thank you so much for asking your question. I think your answer was right. I think it's important for artists to be honest with themselves and understand where they fit into the team if they are, and if they are going to be the captain, what their strengths are as the captain so that they can best lead the team or best be a part of the team as a driving force of it. Because when you're the person with the audience and the person with the ability or the person with the resources, understanding how you feel in allows you to maximize your potential. And I hope you got some value of it, Mr. Webtoons, man. Because Webtoons is an oversaturated market, but if Brent Gray has shown us anything, it's that you can use that to do some very interesting stuff. Jay,
Yeah.
thank you so much for blessing the
No,
live,
no.
for
Thank you.
blessing the
Thank you.
people, for blessing my recently overheated phone with these bars.
Nah, thank you for having me. Thank you. I enjoyed this little talk. I know I don't talk much, but when I do, I talk too much.
That's good content. The beautiful thing about content is that it can be split up infinitely. Sometimes I just hop on here and I rant, and then that giant rant gets cut down into videos that can be put on YouTube and TikTok and all types of stuff. So ain't nothing bad with content. We is, for better or worse, if we on the internet, content creators. The more you create, more content you got, and you can always there's a lot of ways that content can be repurposed and redistributed so that you can benefit from it on other channels.
Yeah. I think I might just put up a post, and if anyone will ask questions, I'll just go on live one day and just answer questions live. I think
That's
it's
a
the least
good move.
yeah. I think that's the least I can do. But thank you
Yes,
very much for having me, yo. It was a pleasure.
absolutely, bro. I'm gonna be sending you a whole bunch of stuff. Hopefully, the people will be motivated to help you get to LA. And from
Yeah.
there, I look forward to seeing you at that panel, bro.
Me too, bro. So I'll talk to you later. And thank you
Yes,
everyone for
indeed. Have a
tuning in.
blessed day.
You too.
People of the live, thank you for coming. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. Peace.